Well, now, this is a little embarrassing. I already recorded a 1 hour little intro where I did the prologue of this game, Chrono Trigger. That footage was lost because in testing out some new equipment that I have and scene changing stuff and yada, 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 I ended up recording a black screen. So it's an hour of me talking over gameplay that doesn't actually exist, except the fact that I was smart enough to at least save my save file. So I'll take a moment here as we do this intro to just explain what's going on. Um, I decided for the new year that we'll be doing some gameplays. We did it previously with the Mass Effect trilogy, but these are going to be more traditional games like from childhood that I want to play through. Easy breezy, just going through them at a casual pace. Varying lengths of gameplay. Some might be an hour long, some might be longer, depending on where there seems to be like a natural stopping point. They will be played mostly through emulation. I do have like original systems, and I even have like some, modern mini consoles that I can plug in to do capture of and everything. But they're all games that I obviously own in some format or another, but want to test out some game filters and shaders and all that fun stuff, as well as testing some of the recording equipment that I have. And I got one of them fancy Stream Deck sort of things where I can change the button layouts and do the scene changes and all that, so that I don't have to have a second screen hooked up just to get it going. I could just control everything manually from here without like losing focus on the actual game, all that fun stuff. So first thing I thought was, well, how about we do Chrono Trigger, because Chrono Trigger uh, was a game that I played. I rented it a couple times in '98, but really it was '99 when I rented it, and I was going to rented it, bought it, was going to beat it, and I ended up doing a massive playthrough of it during the Christmas break that year in '99 into the Y2K New Year's, where I remember pausing the game and looking up to see if the bombs were going to go off or Y2K was going to do anything drastic, and it didn't. So what did I do? Well, I ended up playing the game and beating it, and that was my first experience playing that particular title. Um, so what we're doing here is for New Year's. We're New Year's, and then a few days after, we're gonna play it probably till we beat it. Um, this is in particular a new translation, or newish, I think, as of the fall of 2025. There's been many different retranslation, relocalizations. This is the most updated one that seems to be the best of everybody's interpretation. So things like enemy names are going to be more literal or more of a direct translation. The elemental powers, I think, like it's sky instead of lightning, or light versus dark, that sort of stuff. Um, Also, I think there might be some bug fixes here and there and there. We're playing it with one of the higher CRT filters on, because some of these games were designed, and actually a lot of them were designed, so that when you would um, when you would be playing it on a CRT, the colors would blend to give you new colors, or it wasn't as harsh as, there was no such thing really as like direct pixels on the screen unless you had a handheld device at that time, right? So we're playing it like that. I tried to find like a good CRT filter that isn't overly curved that it looks ridiculous, just subtly enough. And we're going to play it so that it has a little bit of that bloom, a little bit of that feel. And I will mention this. I'll jump in and we'll explain where I am, because I'm an hour ahead. I'm not going to re-record what I did, even though it was fun, but I can explain it, and then we'll go from there. So I'm just going to sort of enter the game now, and we'll see. Hopefully everything works, because when I'm playing retro games like this, I can record at 4K 60. When I'm playing games that are much more intensive on my GPU on the system itself, like when I was doing Mass Effect, I had to basically record at 1440p just to not overtax the system. But yeah, we're gonna transition over into that now. Let's see, clicky clicky. Let's make sure it workies. And we should be transitioned over, and I hope I don't lose another hour. But I did do a couple tests before this is working. So yes, this is the quasi translations and the Chrono Compendium, yada yada yada, everything all in one. And I've got the CRT filter plus some bezels enabled so that it's not just black at the edges. And if it looks a little tiny bit blurry, it's because it would have looked a tiny bit little blurry when you played it initially. Go in. So I'll be save scumming. So we're gonna go in here. And in subsequent sessions, I'll probably make sure that we adjust the volume a little bit so my voice is a little louder than the rest of it, but should be okay as is. But I did set the battle speed and everything text to 3, which is a little faster. It's a little more modern feeling. Oh yeah, the other thing we didn't check was battle gauge. I've never actually done what battle gauge 2 is. I don't even know what that means. I'll have to look it up after. But so in the intro, in the 1 hour where I was testing everything and it didn't quite work, I'll just sort of walk around here just to have something happening on screen while I explain it. I did the intro, walked around, did a pretty good run of going into the festival. I won some points. I hate the Simon Says minigame that they have in there, but I actually did it and I usually don't. And I won the little doll for your room, and then I also won the Chrono clone doll. The third minigame I just couldn't do. I believe that's how you get an extra cat. I'll probably have to try to do that again. I want to see how many cats I can get. I think there's several you can get to go back to your home. I usually end up with like 1 or 2 just from doing other things, but I believe we did the main, I guess, mini quest where you meet up with Marl. I think I did it perfect in that, like, from what I remember, because I'm not going for a strategy, just from years and years of playing over the last, I first beat it 26 years ago. Then I beat it one more time. I remember when there was the first, like, retranslation done, and it was sort of, I guess, based on the DS. I played the DS version, and then that, but it's probably been the better part of 10 years since I really took a real stab at this. I know during the pandemic in 2020 I played a bit, and I was playing it on fast forward. It was sort of like in the background. I wasn't really focusing, just, had to keep my head on straight and just do something to be sane during that time. We're going to do like a full sort of playthrough here, trying to do as much as I can. I believe there might even be some things that I've never noticed before that I'll catch up on. I'm going to try to talk to everybody. So in the intro, like I said, I went to Poor, I went to main town, talked to everybody, got as many opened up any chests that I could find, went to the room where they, the learner's room where you can get some stuff in there, earned some silver points, gained a few levels. If we look here, level 4. Didn't get the best weapon, but get some decent stuff here. And then, like I said, got some stuff for home. Went through the portal and ended up here. I believe I've already, as of the last recording, that we're never going to see because it's a black screen of me talking. Went to all the different ends and stuff here. So now I just basically, I went into the Abbey, talked to them, and went to the bridge. Now I just got to go to the castle, and we're gonna go there. I'm testing a few things here with my little Wiki. I'm gonna mute my mic, and I think it shouldn't mute anything else. And I've unmuted my mic, so I think it should be working. I think we're good. So let's go. There are, when I used to play, well, obviously when I played on my original hardware in 99, I was playing it on a 20-inch was a 20-inch Hitachi TV, I think, or Toshiba, that we had in the living room. Yeah, see, all the character names are based more on the Japanese names, like honorifics for certain people. And it's like, okay, it's probably different than if they do a proper new version of the game. One of the reasons why I want to play this is, like, I'm feeling like now is the time that Square should probably start announcing, either an HD remake or like a full remake of this, because I feel like they don't have much else that they've announced and that's coming, because, the FF9, let's see here, power cap, the FF9, I guess, remake or remaster or whatever, that was in a Giga League years ago. It still hasn't come out. It's the last thing that hasn't. We don't know if it's scrapped or not. We know Final Fantasy VII Part 3, as of this recording, is, fireworks haven't been revealed. We thought it was going to be revealed, like the stuff. They don't really have much coming in the next year so far. Got a level. Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3, HD2D, great. Dragon Quest 7, the one that's using like the model claymation-y type stuff, that's coming in very, very shortly, as of this recording. But they don't have much else that they've announced beyond that. So because of that, I'm thinking, like, for the longest time, Chrono Trigger has been like, in case of emergency, break glass. But I might have been able to turn the audio down slightly in the game itself, and I forgot there wasn't a feature in here, just stereo or mono. That being said, we'll adjust it, in the next video. But, yeah, so I could apply filters. When I played it previously, testing an emulation years ago, back like early 2000s when I was in high school. I would do like 2 times psi, and then there was like eagle and all these different things you could enable in like ZS and AS that would like give you HD quote-unquote graphics. But that was also the time when I still had a monitor that was CRT, so it was subtle but not massive. Now I find myself, if I'm playing a modern HD2D game, then obviously I want all the pixels and it's super high res and everything, and I want clean and crystal clear. But I've been trying to find a decent, and if I'm capturing from the original hardware, I can capture from the original hardware, and I can apply a filter on top of the actual capture. So I'm going to try that with the consoles that I have, or even like the mini consoles, because I've got SNES Mini, I have Genesis, TurboGrafx Mini. I've bought those are like my little collection of those. I even have like the Atari, A400? Yeah, the 400 Mini or whatever it's called. I've got that, and I've got the TurboGrafx and the Commodore 64. So for those, I'll probably end up trying that and applying a filter of that to that, or like not post-processing, but within capture. But for here, I was like, let's find one. Some of them are like really curved, and there's crazy bloomy stuff. Shelter, neat. But it's not overly. It becomes kind of hokey looking, and I also don't want a completely flat one because I wanted to have the appearance of how maybe I would have played some of these games. And I found the filter and the shader set that I think looks pretty good. And obviously, like, playing it with bezels around it, it's kind of neat. If they look really bad, some of them don't look as good as this. I'll disable it if I'm playing those games. But if looking at the text here, something I like is it's added that little bit of color bleed and luminance bleed that I remember seeing so prominently on those games. And it's a little blurry, but it gives that blending of some of the colors that you didn't see. Let's see here. Yeah, that is a bit. Boop. So I'm also playing with my 8-bit dude SM30 Pro Plus. So the Super Nintendo controller, sort of with the PlayStation wings on the bottom. Much more comfortable than playing this kind of a game with even like an Xbox controller. So let's continue on. Now that I've mentioned everything that I did previous that we weren't able to do or show. Come on, get lost, loiter around too long and we'll rescue. Maybe a little more in Japanese Q instead of haha or hee-hee. I guess hee-hee or tee-hee or hee-hee is more of a Western way of doing it than Q is Japanese. So, the other thing was when we were in town, and I did the thing, I made sure, I've never actually done like a perfect quote-unquote run, because obviously, without spoiling too much, the game's been out a long time, but you sort of want to experience this as if it's maybe your first time playing it, or first time watching. Not everybody has done a full playthrough, or maybe they've heard of story beats, but there is a point where events of the market, or sorry, I guess events of the festival end up playing out in actions that you do affect the story somewhat. And so in there's an option you can just go around, and usually in RPGs you just open up and eat anything you want. Well, don't eat the person's lunch, especially after you talk to them. Don't eat the lunch. There's a cat that I've never actually, I was chased away every time I talked to it, but I actually got it to follow me and go back to the little girl, so I returned her cat. When Marl bumped into me, I made sure that I didn't like run into her. She sort of bumped into me, knocked over. I didn't go and grab her pendant right away. I went and talked to her first, grabbed her pendant, gave it to her right away. Went to talk to Melchior, who is the weaponsmith. He offered to ask me if I could convince her to sell the pendant. I said no immediately. I went around, won a couple events with her together. Got the Chrono doll. That went back to my home. I went when she wanted to go buy some candy. I stood there, just let her do it, didn't talk to her, didn't move away, and she said, "Thank you for waiting for me." And I believe that's everything. Without looking up a guide, I think that's everything to be like a good Samaritan. Yes, I will be resting. Free rest. Awesome. Didn't have to use any potions. Guys have to say. Yeah, see, they have the honorifics added in this version. Cyrus-sama. I do not know his name. Since the average build, of course, is back to monsters stop appearing. Divine godly protection for you is welcome. Took a friend of his on the journey, and that's the last we've heard of him. Now we can give the war under attention. Which is our last time events the most defended on the death of the left. So okay, yeah, so that's why I get 3 rest. be one's HP, one's MP, and then we'll do both. Alright. Let's go. What do you have to say? Ooh. Ether. I think that might have been it had like a big space after the ether. Maybe that's a fix glitch they can fix later. One amateurs in the kitchen. The heck's like a crate. That she wants to eat. Alright, so let's go back. Brothers, but they don't get along. My husband chose this path since he hates people killing each other. That past everyone's fighting. He's a good person. No, I think it's all the same. Let's just have one good meal with the knights. Barbecue. Alright. Filled with a mysterious power. Okay. That's not suspicious at all. Do I already have that equipped? Nope. What do we get? Alright. too much. Uh-oh. Yeah, I can't do anything here. Everybody has like a spindle. Oh my, overready. By the way, you didn't. Was something. Hey, wasn't something weird? Yes. Did you? Yes. If that came to light, I didn't hear a thing. Never mind then. No. Okay, wait a minute. So let's see. Yes. I knew it. There was something different about it. This is I'm not leaving. Keep this between us. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so that was two different people. Okay, what do you say here? Jesus, love to gossip no matter what the era. Okay, so a little hint that they're gossiping the whole time. Okay, so the Google translation is Princess Marmalade. It's a pretty simple way of explaining it. Obviously, there's paradox involved, but kid when I was playing this. You know, I was like 12, yeah, 12 or 13. So this is like, this is good shit. Alright, so the thing is, it doesn't make it good. Didn't make an announcement she joined the party. It should have been like, okay, so oh, yeah, we want to keep that on. Let's fight here till she gains a level. Flame wheel, so we got a move we can use that's actually decently powerful. Oh, so you get like a free shelter every time? Oh, that's not a bad idea. I mean, it's not great, but active time battle system. I always like having a little more time to pick and choose my commands. Let's try to flamethrower out. Or flame wheel. Alright. let's fight one more. Should do it. Go out the bottom, come back in. Just that way we get enough to attack. Oh, here we go. That's good enough. She could probably kill that in one hit. So the interesting thing about this is I rented this game 3 times from our local Rogers Video. And let's go to the market. Sea shooter. So I rented it 3 times. Each time, nobody erased my save, so I was able to continue on a little bit by bit each time. And then I wanted them to sell me the game in like 99, and they wouldn't. They were like, no, we don't sell it. It turns out when they ended up selling it, they told me it would be like $25. Now, obviously, this is just the game, no box or manual or anything. But even then, it was already becoming a more expensive game. I ended up getting it for $9.99, my copy. And what's hilarious about it is, I got it 3 years later, 2001, 2002, something. I sold it when I was getting rid of all my Super Nintendo stuff, back before we knew there would be real value in them. And I sold it locally, just traded it in at a game store that was taking it. They gave me like $40 or something, $40 trade credit, $50, something like that. It was a pretty good deal for me at the time. I think I was getting my PS2. And what's funny is I ended up buying it in 2006, probably about 4 or 5 years later. I buy it off of eBay. It ships up from someplace in Oklahoma, I think. I was like, yeah, okay, I got it. And I think I got it for like $70. You know, it hadn't quite hit that point where it was like $150 or more yet. And it was a rental copy and everything. Or sorry, I did not, but it was a used copy instead. Game arrives from like Oklahoma. I open it up and I look at it and I go, I kind of recognize this. I popped the game in my system. At that point, I had bought another used Super Nintendo, and it's my fucking copy. It had made its way down to Oklahoma from Canada, and over the course of 3 or 4 years, changed hands, I guess a couple times. I ordered it, comes back, it's my copy. It didn't have the markings of like a Rogers Video. Somebody had taken like the stickers and stuff off and really cleaned it up. But my saves were on there. The person who had bought it, whoever had it, had never erased the saves. Never even played it. They just put it on their shelf, I guess. And I was like, that's awesome. But another funny story is the same thing. And I had it, and then I sold it, I think, and I made like $100 on it, at a certain point. Super Mario RPG, on the other hand, I bought that same deal, paid like $10-15 at a store when they were clearancing out their rental stock. Bought it, played it, saved it, sold it. Bought it again a couple years later from a swap meet. It turns out it's my copy. And I'm like, holy shit, this happened already with Chrono Trigger. Like, I got my copy back randomly. So I put like a little marking on the inside of the cartridge, like where the actual slot is at the bottom. I put like my initials and like a permanent marker, like just sort of etched a little bit, like a little notch in there. And played it, sold it. 10 years go by. This is like 2010, maybe 2012, 2013. I order on eBay. This one comes from Louisiana. And I was like, okay, I want a copy. I'm going to start collecting again. Just hit the bug. It ships to me from Louisiana. I go to plug it in. my fucking save file's there. And I go, huh? I take it out, look inside. It's my copy of the game. The notch that I etched into it and my little initial that I put in with the permanent marker on the inside side is still there. So I bought the same copy 3 times, and they went all around North America, if not the world, and came back to me randomly. And I was like, what the hell? And then I ended up selling it again. I'm sure if I ever go to purchase a copy again, maybe it's just the rarity of these games. If I ever purchase a copy again, there's a high probability that it's my fucking copy from 1997, 98, 99, something like that, that has just changed hands. It was for sure my copy twice. So Mario RPG has happened twice. Chrono Trigger has happened, well, I guess I've owned it 3 times, and Chrono Trigger I owned twice with the exact same copy. So it's just, there's a funny history there with me and just these games in particular. Pea Shooter, Franz Helm. So, they're pretty good about leading you where you need to go because obviously the bridge isn't finished yet. So there's only really one other place to go. So if we go here, they'll say it's not finished, we're fighting, blah, blah. Heal. Yeah. Let's just... Which one's the end? Is that the end? No. Oh yeah, and we mentioned that our buddy here, Toma, is the real hero of the game. Is he? I thought for sure they said the rest was suspicious. See, he's the real G. He's the one, man. Like when you play the game originally, when I played it 25 to 26 years ago, actually, I think the first time I played it was probably 27 years ago. When I played it then, I was like, oh, he's cool, he's heroic, he has a pivotal moment in the story. Playing it now as somebody at this point close to 40 years old, he's the hero. he's the one that's got it all together. He's on his own figuring all this stuff out. Yeah, we saw that. Alright, you sneaky bitches. Alright, what you got? Alright. Mianu, I think in the original they were called like Negas or something. Buddy, don't let your guard down until the end. It's when you're drunk with victory that your guard is wide open. I could change maybe the way you speak. It looks like. Did they make him less Old English, I think? I don't want to do it. Can you choose not to go with him? That face. Yeah. I mean, I know people have like played it many times and just made it flat. It's funny with flashbacks and it's him. But alright. So can he equip anything that I got? So that's fine. What level is he? Okay, so Chrono's at the right level. Or at least can they scale with the highest level person maybe? Fight some suckers. So the gargoyles are called goblins now. Part of the reason why I wanted to play like the most recent, I guess, and translation that's sort of like an amalgamation of all the best ones is if they do a proper remake, it will have a completely different script. So this is like the closest I will get, I guess, to the Japanese experience without knowing Japanese, like the script for this. What the hell's an Athena drop? I'll have to look it up. Again, because the naming is going to be different than what I remember. And I don't remember every item in this either. Alright, you're getting a little fresh. Getting somewhere. So what was that Athena drop? Okay, just suit for a lady. That's a pretty big jump. Found the secret piano. Oh my. Bro, it's those are those like cards. I think where did I recognize them? Was it Lunar that had them first? I guess it's like here we used to have the Sun newspaper, Sunshine Girls. And they would have like, you know, basically it was like swimsuit edition sort of things, like, and they would highlight out local, you know, beauty. And I remember they used to do like playing cards and different things with them on it, and collector's cards. So I guess that's what it's supposed to be like. Human's Boss. Our prized bromide. Bully the girls. That if their part of little translation means it doesn't really make a ton of sense. just like a goof. Longest time, I'm not realizing you could go down here when I first played, that you have to like crawl and hug things. Our cap. When in doubt, just give everything to Chrono. I know you can be strategic about it, but when in doubt, everything to Chrono. Can't be your humans. The queen's in prison in the back. Please rescue the queen. Do you have anything else to say? No? Okay, so they were the guard that... Out of the way. There's room somewhere in this building enshrining that hateful language. There's treasure there too. Is that... I think there's... That's one thing that I didn't see the first time I played it as a little kid. And then I know that there's a hidden room that I didn't find until like 10 years after I played the first time in Magus Castle. Like there is a room in Final Fantasy IV that I never found until like 2 years ago, and it wasn't that like strategy guides didn't show it. Like I guess there was maps. I just never noticed in the waterfall when you get Tella there, or in the underground there is one of the waterfalls you can go into. And there's items in there, and I have played and beaten that game probably 10 times. 1996, and it took me like 23 years till I discovered it. On my own, just wandering around playing that version of the game, and I was like, "What the hell?" So, you know, there's still sometimes little secrets that I'll find in these games. Not that it's a secret to everybody, just a secret from me. Chancellor and disguising himself as a chancellor. Oh, I took nothing left. Okay, so can have the queen easy. Castle. Nothing not it's almost time for my shift. Disgusting human. Okay, I guess I'll go worship Mage Thomas' figure one more time. If I follow him. Alright. Yeah, show me the secret. The secret area. Shining eyes, wind-blown hair, higher peaks deeper than the seas. Any lonely day, be afraid. However bright and sad the place, you there to find. Tector, what we got here? +2, so that was 2. Okay. Stamina +2. No, I don't want to put any of those to any of our guys. Wait, actually, you know what? I have a power glove. You know what? Yeah, let's do that. Mess them up. Those couple of power caps that I've given Chrono compensates for not having the accessory equipment, but with that +2 speed Good. Think there's anything else we can do. Well, first of all, we got plenty of potions. That's good enough. Yeah, I don't remember the first time seeing this. Like, when I was a kid, I wasn't exploring quite as much. Spider. Now let's see, what are each of these guys learning right now? Nothing else. Please sleep. So how many we got left? 19 points. Okay. I'm gonna have to look up again how to trigger all the double and triple attacks. Because I know some of you have to like have a rock, and I don't remember how it all went. I never actually got most of it. Hopefully they didn't come through. I hit the mic. Let's get him. I've always been like a item porter in RPGs, and then by the time I want to go use them, I don't need them anymore. And it's just, sometimes I sell them, but I think I'm going to play a little more liberally with the game here to make it more natural, away from what my normal proclivities would be. And Chrono Trigger's not really a very hard game, given the special alterations, except there are a couple difficulty spikes. I remember in Dino Land, some of the enemies being like, oof. Alright, so let's good enough. Okay, so now, you know what? Yeah, as I was saying. I'm going to take a moment, I'm going to mute my mic and actually pause the recording so I can use the washroom, and that'll be a good way to test if that's all working. thought I had paused it, but it turns out the button didn't work initially. Now it did. So you probably just saw, I had it muted. You probably saw the screen going crazy because I put the controller down and a button was pressed and it was just going whoop, whoop, whoop. Oh well. So, okie dokie. So I think we're in. Okay, so I had myself muted so I could have some crackers and cheese and an apple. So, don't want to chew things on recording if I can avoid it. I tried to go for the chest first. I know that you can leave him in there and he doesn't come back. So we're just gonna try to do like a good run. Like when I played the Mass Effect trilogy, I said I wanted to do a full Paragon run. Let's do a full Paragon run. Now they're building a courthouse. Build a prison to strictly judge that sort. Chrono, you wouldn't have seen the festival with me, right? There we go. Of course you would have. Hey. Now that she's back. Give her that. Wait, what does the ribbon do? Hit +2. Yeah, we'll leave that there. But we can sell the rest, I think. think they censored it originally because the word bastard might be construed as much more of a negative in the West than it was in its initial intent. Wait, that person liked the fake better. Okay, so let's just, before we head out, let's talk to everybody. So yeah, I guess they removed the old Englishy speak that he does because nobody else really talks like that. But I kind of liked it, so it's almost too bad that was something that they changed. Let's get some hyper barbecue, get some free heals. If I remember correctly, they didn't use the honorifics, but they used like Queen Lead for everything instead of Queen Sama. It's delivering it right now. Oh my god. So, we're gonna head back. stick around for that. Okay, I was wondering how Frog... I don't know if I ever talked to this guy before. That Frog bastard. It's probably not a nice thing to say. Yeah, so I understand why it was originally censored. Now this is the uncensored version. Let's see here. Sell all extra equipment is not needed, I don't think. You know what? I don't think I need that. As cool as it is to have an emitter, I think I can use it to get the silver sword now. I want to see if they say anything different now that the Queen's been rescued. Toma gone? Okay, Toma's gone. I don't think you can talk to the bartender, but... Alrighty. I don't think we'll get enough tech points to get that power yet. something. Hell yeah. Ew. Only 2 points better than what I had, but if I had saved up for it like I usually did when I play, it like makes a huge difference at the beginning of the game. Let's go hang out with Mom. Lucas place. See your fathers here and say oh, he's a good husband. Brought her some apples. Okay, so he's back downstairs. I think in the Southern Cal, they had better equipment. Heh. Church is gone. No shit, eh? There we go. So there was one other good item here. It's a massive increase. Okay. Still got a decent amount of items and money. You know what? Screw it. Let's take the boat. It does let you see a glimpse of like a little bit of the world, like just a tiny bit farther out A moosh boosh, a little sampling. I always thought it'd be neat if you could, like, go to the wells in the square there. Alright, so... how many points wasn't she away from? 27? Probably won't get it here, but we may as well just do a quick run through and see how fast we can immortalize these guys. And it's good to get some potions. We don't have to buy them. That's probably enough for me to do the next part of the game here. There's only 18 left. You know what? Let's see what we can do. Nah, you know what? Let's go. I think. Maybe 2 more here? 3. Okay, 3 fights. learn taunt. I don't think that she can learn any more at the moment. No. Until events happen, we're pretty much locked into what we've got. How close are we to getting a level? That's a good question. Oh, it's a fair bit away. Okay. We're pretty much as leveled up as we need to be. They're all sort of dressed in like, they have like shoulder pads. They look like they're soldiers from Final Fantasy VII. I never realized that. They look like the outfits that Soldier uses, and maybe like the Shinra regular forces. Here we go. Court case. I think I did everything right. See, with the blurring effect, you can actually see like the stained glass actually looks better than the pixelated. It looks like a mess if you play it pure pixels. Let's see if those actions I did in the prologue that I fucked up the recording for, and see if this makes a difference. Because every time I played previously, I was like convicted guilty, and I know that you can do well enough that they don't convict you, but you still get bad things happen. She made the first move. Okay, that's the one I've never been able to do before. I just never did it. You had your eyes on the princess as well, did you not? No. Not at all. See? So if you eat the guy's food, which I've done every single time prior to this, he comes in against you saying you're a poor judge of character. If you try to sell, or if you offer to sell the pendant, it goes against you because it shows that you're greedy. If you pick up the pendant first before talking to Marl, it counts against you. And if you're impatient with her when she's going to buy the candy, that affects it as well. So they got the one guilty. That's probably for technically me saying that I didn't bump into her when I guess I did. Maybe she can bump into you, but I don't know if... I think you have to initiate it. Days of solitary confinement. Okay, see, I've never actually gotten this. In the normal version, you know, when you get convicted, will have an execution within 3 days. See, like, the stained glass picture of the old man with the beard, it looks weird if you play it on a modern screen with just pure pixels. The blending gives the beard, like, texture and shape. The outcome's the same, but I mean, I did well, and I mean, if it was a modern game on like PlayStation or whatever, you'd get trophies probably for succeeding in being not guilty. All right. That's a present. Ah, that trial attendees who pitied you brought you when you decided to go to prison. So I think I got that for being not guilty. I think. Okay, so let's save here. Kingdom trial. Let me out, let me out, let me out. Donk. All right, so let's save again. Right, I think I gotta climb around if I remember correctly to get in there. Not like a little thing about where I can do around here. No, okay, that's right. So let's do some exploration. First of all, I'll have to fight those guys. Here's a question. Can I fight those things now? Now, if I go over here, what happens? Try to explore everything. Sworn. Okay. Yeah, so I have to climb up and around. Right, righto. So, what happens? What up there? I actually don't remember the layout. I don't want to accidentally trigger anything and leave before I get everything. Oh, wait a minute. We'll go through here, but then I think I gotta go back down there. Yeah, we're gonna go back down. So unless I'm incorrect, I think when we were in the port, we were talking to that person that was like wishing their boyfriend was there. I'm pretty sure he's here. And if you don't have to. Huh. Bonk. I didn't even have to fight him. I could actually go behind him. I didn't realize that. Okay, so here we go. Let's get him. Coward. And I was going to say, I'm pretty sure. Can I? Okay. I don't know why that didn't trigger till I went and did the other room, but okay. Can I crawl? All right, let's go back down. I don't think this is... I think I have to go to the other side first and then do stuffy. Yeah. I think I have to crawl around the outside, get to there, And then go back down. But we won't leave till we find it, because I want to do like a complete run. Make this like my definitive play where I never have to play it again. Well, never, I want to, but where I never have to play it again for a complete run until like a brand new version or something comes out. Also, if they're not facing you, you can just do that. You can just conk them. There he is. Ah, shit. Okay. That's another thing where maybe there's like a trophy if you could knock them all out. I know that when you're playing it like this, there's retro achievements, but not for the patched version that I made, I think. Does he say, help me? Yeah, I'm going to help him, of course, buddy. Fritz, yeah. My father manages a goods store in Truce. If you come visit the area, I'm sure to visit. I think you get a discount when you visit them. So what's up? Let's get him. Think there's anything else I can grab in here? So bronze armor, which I've already got. Okay. Think anything else can happen? Can I trigger anything else? Marp. Okay. You turn? Fuck. Okay. Now, if I go down here, shelter out of it. Gone. They're not treating people very well in this dungeon. All right, I don't think I can trigger anything else. So now, wait for one of them to turn. There. Turn, buddy. I think it's up to the left, right? Yeah. Nothing in here. Nothing in here. Okay. Let's open her up. And now I can climb down. Shelter. Again. 1,500 bucks. Oh, and that's how you get the silver sword if you don't want to buy it and don't want to save up. Okay. But that's good. I'll have enough I can sell. So now we can go back up. I don't remember if there's anything from climbing beyond. I don't think that there is. Yeah, you can't move while climbing. Nope. Okay, so you have to go that way. That makes sense. Can I knock the one guard out? Nope. Gotta hit him. Help me. Prison break. What does it say? Guardia Dragon Tank blueprints. The abilities installed in the Dragon Tank set recovers the damage the body takes. Shield defense, fire. But let's just use shelter. I love when the jaw drops. Go back and see what happens. I've never actually done that. Just gone back immediately. Are they still there? Okay, well, we'll go back. There's nothing we can do here really right now anyway. And I think if we try to go to the castle, they just say we have to avoid it. Alright. Across the ruins. So, that's going to do it for this amended first part. I mean, technically it's part 2, but it's also part 1, so it's part 1-ish. But, yeah, we're going to come back, and next time we're going to be exploring the bleak, cold future. So, I guess that's goodbye for now, and, yeah, depending on when this comes out, Happy New Year.